So Google Shopping is significant. We see approximately 200,000 visits to the website a week from Google Shopping, which is significant. We've seen a bit of a decline in the last 2 or 3 years, but it's not the most significant channel, but it certainly brings through some good traffic, and of course up until now it has been free traffic, so it was certainly worth playing there. I think for a brand like Argos, where we're a recognisable brand, we tend to do pretty well in these sort of shopping comparison arena because it's a brand that people trust. In total, it won't have an impact on our marketing budget because we haven't got any extra budget. So actually what's going to happen is it will simply cannibalise our PPC budget. So from a Google perspective, they're not going to gain any additional revenue from it, certainly this year. Actually all they're doing is they're cannibalising the revenue they would have seen anyway. So from a budgetary perspective, there isn't really one, although from my perspective it means I've got less to invest in other areas that are working well for us, like PPC. I think by this time next year we won't talk about Google Shopping at all, we'll simply talk about PPC. We will talk about product listing ads or PLAs within that, but product listing ads is an existing product anyway that really it seems that Google are they're just making more of it really. They're moving the Google Shopping piece into that, which does make sense, so you've got one place. Well, from what we can tell, it's essential. I mean, it has been essential. That's been the only way that you could improve your listings in the kind of free space. So having control over the different elements of your feed and being able to go in and optimise at a product level and then an attribute level within that product has been really important, and we've built systems that allow us to do that. And from what we can tell, that's going to continue to be really important. So that you end up with an almost hybrid model between optimising and then bidding. So we're going through a stage now of some really thorough testing to understand how the two work, whether there's more importance placed on one than the other. Actually, we only use proprietary technology. The feed tool that we've been using was created specifically for Argos. So Google made some additional changes the October before last to tighten up the rules around Google Shopping and the quality of the feed. So we worked closely with Summit to be able to start breaking out those elements of the feed that we needed to be able to change. So I think the key point about Summit is they give us the flexibility to drive our technical requirements based on what's happening within our campaigns. So we have some very specific challenges around scale, around how we break them out and make them work. And it's actually the ongoing development and improvements that we can make using the Summit technological solutions that are available, which actually make that possible. So I think the first thing is that I think the paid model makes it more accessible in how you make it work. So I think you'll see more people coming into the space because it's easy to get started. And then it will really depend on the sort of return on investments that people can actually get from it. Obviously they're paying for it. You would hope that the majority of digital marketers would be looking at the return they're getting off the back of it. So assuming people can get a good return, then I would expect people to stay in the space. Obviously the more people are in the space, the more expensive it becomes for everybody. So there's going to be an element, I think, of it settling down and people trying to figure out whether it works or not. So we've probably got 6 months of disruption before we can really take a view. I think so, yeah. I mean, I'd recommend it because customers are there. So there are customers using Google Shopping anyway, and they have been for a year. As I said, hundreds of thousands of people a week go on there every week, so there are customers. So if you're looking to capture people to make purchases, then yes, you know what they're looking for because they're actually searching it within it, and actually Google are giving it more prominence. So if you're already running PPC ads, then it's another way of mixing your budget and hopefully delivering a strong ROI. But I would temper that with you should be testing it, understanding it, and only doing it if you feel that it's returning something for your business.